Is it possible for type 1 diabetes to lead to a happier life? Yes. I'm just going to give you the answer, yes. But I'm telling you from my experience and how that's come to be, as well as a really interesting story about perspective that I learned last night. So I want to get into our theme song and then I'll jump in straight into a story today, all right? Let's get to it. I've spent the last 10 years pushing the limits while identifying trends and patterns in my type 1 diabetes management. Follow along as I learn, apply, and share the fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle strategies that I've learned from diabetes experts around the world. The real question is, how can we live fearlessly with diabetes while maintaining stable blood sugars? This podcast is here to give you the answer. My name is Matt Vandevecht, head coach and co-founder of FTF Warrior, and welcome to Pardon My Pancreas. So last night my wife and I took some time. We watched a movie that's been on our watch list for a little while now on Netflix, and the movie itself was called Blue Miracle. And if you haven't seen it yet, I do recommend it. It's not the best movie of all time, but it's got a powerful life lesson in it. And I won't ruin the end for you, so don't worry, no spoilers here. In fact, this episode is going to be a little bit shorter. My daughter, Brooklyn, is napping right now, and I am in charge. So it's going to be a quick one. Gotta be ready for her to wake up. But this movie that my wife and I saw last night, Blue Miracle, in the movie it's about an orphanage and they're going to lose the property, right? It's the big issue. They're going to lose their property to the banks and they got to win the prize money of this competition to save it. And in this process, the kids in the orphanage experience some really difficult times in life. And they're all gathered around kind of a lantern at night, chit-chatting and discussing the hardships that they've had to endure. And one of the kids says to the group, oh man, these other kids that I saw on the street, they're having it so difficult. They're out in the rainstorm all by themselves. At least we have each other. I'm so grateful that we get to be in this orphanage and be part of this group. I'm so grateful. And this other kid hears that and goes, what? Are you kidding? We're the unluckiest people in the entire earth. Like, our parents didn't even want us. What makes you think we're lucky? And that stood out to me so strongly because you've got two people in the exact same scenario. They're both in an orphanage. They've both been taken in by this loving couple that just opened an orphanage out of the goodness of their hearts. And yet one kid has found a way to be grateful for the current circumstances and sees other people as experiencing pain. He's grateful for the moment that he has with these people. And the other person, same situation, found a way to be ungrateful, found a way to see the world in a negative light, that there is nothing to be grateful for. In fact, we are unlucky. In fact, we are in a worse situation. And that unique perspective that they differ with can actually be related to diabetes. And I've noticed this in our coaching programs, actually. Our type 1 diabetes coaching program that we have, I actually coach directly and I watch as people go through it time and time again. There's very different experiences that people start out with. And I try to work people towards a common goal, of course, bringing them to more control, but also a better quality of life with their blood sugars and doing what they love. But what I noticed, there's this one example that happened about a month ago where I had one student who was a bit negative, had a difficult time with some of the components of the program, and always found a way to blame themselves, to say, oh, I'm failing, oh, this is difficult, oh, this isn't fair, I can't figure out why my blood sugars are doing this, and I can't figure it out, I need more help, I need you to reach out to me. And this other student that I have reached out, also frustrated, also in a similar situation. Believe it or not, they were at the exact same stage in the program, and yet this person always found a way to see the positives and to be grateful and to thank me, to thank our staff for the help that we were able to offer them, the guidance, and said, you know what, I can't figure this out, I'm feeling frustrated, but, and that was the key word, but I'm excited to learn more. I'm excited for this opportunity to figure out my blood sugars. They hadn't figured it out yet, all right? They're still experiencing frustration, but they had the perspective of gratitude, being able to look outside of their current situation into the future and see where they were going. And they were grateful for the opportunity to learn versus feeling like they were stuck and seeing only the negative, seeing only failure. Now, both of these students were able to move through that section, were able to accomplish great things, but I can tell you that time and time again, those who seek gratitude, those who seek the positive side of life, oftentimes see better results, not only in our programs, but in life in general. And of course, in the movie, they went through this process of, the character journey or the character arc in storytelling is what it's called. as these people developed a positive attitude, developed gratitude for the orphanage owners, and it was a beautiful story. Again, I'm not going to ruin the ending for you, but within life in general, within diabetes, one of the core messages that I want to share with you today is not that you have to love diabetes. You don't have to be happy that you got diagnosed. However, if you're able to seek out gratitude, to find something to be grateful for me personally, this has changed my life dramatically. When I first started out, for years, absolutely hated my diabetes. Hated it, hated everyone. I was angry about it. I was angry, embarrassed, frustrated, but over time, realizing that there are things to be grateful for, even still. I have insulin, I have access to healthcare, I have the ability to continue living, right? There's so many great things and lessons learned along the way. I have learned how strong I am. I did not realize how much adversity I could push through. I didn't realize that I could push through challenge after challenge after challenge, near-death experiences, and now I've become a better person as a result of being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And you may have a different story. Okay, we're not going to be the exact same, but finding something to be grateful for absolutely helps your mindset, and mindset is key. And we've proven this again, time and time again inside of our program, that those who come in with a mindset of positivity, or a mindset that is hungry for learning, hungry for progression through this program, through their journey with diabetes, tend to do better and go further than those who are stuck in a negative mindset. And what I want to share with you as well is that you don't have to remain stuck, even if you feel stuck. You can change your mindset, but the only one who can change that is you. And as I'm moving through, this series of gratitude thought processes after watching that movie last night, kind of looking into my own life, digging deeper, realizing that diabetes has not only allowed me to become a better version of myself, but it's opened new doors in my life, whether it's with business or personal relationships or opportunities to help others. And that was a huge one for me, realizing that because of the pain that I've experienced and the frustration and the fear, I've been able to take that and share it with others in a positive light and say, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna make it, right? There's light at the end of the tunnel. And that's a big part of what I do here with you, right? On these episodes, is being able to share with you that it's not all doom and gloom. It's not just the complications and early death and all these crazy things. There is a light side to this, and there can be positive in even the darkest of times. But you have to choose to focus on that. And that is the difficulty that so many of us face, that I myself faced as well. Having dealt with depression in the past, it is not an easy task to switch from negative to a positive mindset. But I want to at least share this small golden nugget with you, that you can experience the exact same situation as somebody else and have a completely different perspective. And that is key. Your perspective determines how you approach things in life. So yes, number one, gratitude, incredibly important. Find something to be grateful for. Step two, find the positives in life, okay? You don't have to love your diabetes, but there are positive outcomes that you can approach this with, right? I'm much healthier because I have type 1, because I'm more focused on nutrition and fitness. I probably wouldn't be exercising every day if it weren't for my blood sugars that saw a benefit from exercise. I'd probably skip a few workouts if I didn't have diabetes, right? That's a positive. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my stories with you, to influence others, to become a better version of myself. Gratitude, positivity, and third, arguably most important, is your perspective on any given situation. Yes, I have diabetes. What else can I use this for to grow, to help others, or to become healthier myself as a result? Your perspective in life is key. I want to bold that, but I'm not writing. Obviously, how do you bold speech? You yell it? I'm not going to yell at you, but perspective can change your entire life. The outcomes, the journey, all of it. So, who are you going to be? Are you going to be the kid who is grateful for his current circumstances, saying, wow, yes, I'm in an orphanage, but I'm in an orphanage. I'm surrounded by other people who I call my friends, my brothers, my sisters. I have orphanage, I don't know what they're called, but the caretakers, right? The couple that runs the orphanage, I have them looking out for me. This is amazing. I'm so grateful for this because I used to be on the streets. Or are you going to be the negative guy who's like, you think we're lucky? We are unlucky because we're in an orphanage. Our parents don't even want us. Find out how to shift your perspective. Find how to be grateful for your current situation. Look towards the positives in life. I guarantee that you will experience a vastly different outcome than if you will focus on the negatives. All right? So number one, find gratitude. 2, seek out the positives. And 3, challenge your perspective. How are you perceiving life? Are you perceiving life as happening to you or happening for you? Is all the negative landslides taking you and weighing you down? Or are things actually happening for your benefit? Find ways to make that so. I guarantee you will have a more positive outlook on life in general if you can focus on those 3 things. Is this one directly related to diabetes? Yes and no, right? There's no tactical strategies in this episode. Of course not, right? This isn't me telling you, okay, here's how insulin works. But if you apply this to your diabetes, I guarantee you're going to see a more positive outcome, likely less burnout, likely less frustration. At least that's been my experience with it. I used to experience a lot more anger towards my diabetes, and now it's more about how can I use my frustrations to learn from and better myself in the future. And sometimes it applies directly to blood sugars as I learn from my mistakes. Look at the current situation as a learning opportunity, and not so much as this sucks, of course this always happens, diabetes is the worst. No. How can I use this to learn better for next time, make changes, and to approach diabetes in a more proactive manner? All right, hopefully this one was helpful for you. I believe I did hear Brooklyn crying, so I gotta take off and go hold my baby. But I hope you found this helpful. I hope that you are able to find gratitude, positivity, and of course a new perspective on life with diabetes, because we are all here together. We're in this together. And if you found this helpful, please do let us know. Leave us a review. And obviously I don't monetize these podcasts. I don't let people pay for sponsorship slots. This is just my passion for you. So you can always say thank you by leaving us a review on any of the podcast apps or wherever you listen to this, or Facebook, YouTube, whatever. But that would be super cool. Drop us a review, share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it, and I will see you in next week's episode. And as always, all right, so Brooklyn was not in fact crying. She's actually still sleeping, praise God. So I wanted to jump in here and give you a quick tactical tip for how this does actually apply to your blood sugars. Now, if you have a negative perception of your blood sugars, of the diabetes situation entirely, when a rough blood sugar does come along, let's just say a high blood sugar, you're stuck at 300, and you go, of course, this always happens to me. In that negative frame of mind, you are less likely to seek out solutions, to seek out a reason for why that happened, versus if you see a 300 blood sugar and go, oh, that's a rough one, but you know what, these things always happen for a reason. I wonder what that reason is. And what can I learn from this situation? You're more likely to actually pick a positive solution from the mess inside of our brains and come up with that actionable item to fix not only that current situation, but also to help avoid it happening in the future, because your mind gets more creative in a positive flow. Okay, this has been proven. The more positive you are, the more open your perception of these events, the more likely you are to actually solve the problems and at a faster rate. So if you are negative, your brain works slower. It's more, think of it like sludge, all right? Like there's sewage just kind of floating around your head. If you're positive, it's like a fast fire hydrant, just water flow. There's the idea, there's the solution, more clarity of mind. The more positive your perception of events, but also of life itself, the better your brain functions at this problem-solving mechanism. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Let's go solve some problems, improve our blood sugars, and have an amazing rest of your day. Keep up the fight.